morning everybody and welcome to the Gallant Views Daily News Update for Thursday the 2nd of March 2023. My name's Colin and I'll be giving you all the Rangers news from the last 24 hours. It's Friday Eve, only 2 days until we're back at Ibrox. Long overdue. It's been a long week. It's always a long week without any midweek Rangers games, but even longer when it's off the back of a defeat and you just really want to get going. But we're nearly there, folks. It's nearly the weekend. We'll have the Rangers press conference today, and then we just need to get through Friday, and then we'll be back at Ibrox. Just before we get into the news, another call to arms that from next week you can become a member and subscribe to the podcast for just £1 a month. It's 25p a week to keep on getting your daily news shows and other additional content. The links are already up for Acast and Anchor. Acast is where you'll most likely get your Apple subscription, and Anchor will provide the Spotify subscription. The YouTube members page will be up shortly after this news update lands today. So a fair bit of Rangers news to get through, starting with the club announcing that James Sands' loan has ended early and he's returning to New York City FC. So we signed James Sands on an 18-month loan last January and he's went on to make 41 appearances. Rangers did have an exclusive option to buy at the end of the loan, but I think it's been decided it's best for all parties that he moves back for the start of the MLS season. So Michael Beales came out and said, "I would like to thank James for his time at Rangers. He was a well-liked player in our squad and I enjoyed working with him on a daily basis. I believe he will go on to have an excellent career. The opportunity to return to New York City FC for the start of the MLS season, where he will be a key player in the squad, was something that we felt was correct for all parties." I bear no ill feeling towards James Sands. I'll be honest, I know right now there's a lot of anger, a lot of frustration at certain players in the squad for the support, and I think that's more to do with how the season's panning out more than anything. But if you look at James Sands, a 21-year-old, he's come in, he's been playing out of position for most of it, and where he's at in his career, he's not what Rangers need. We need somebody to come in and carry the midfield, and I think he'd be a very good supporting option in a more settled side, but it's just probably not the right time for him. I think there is a player there, but he's definitely not what we need. So I think it's right that we move him on. But for the player himself, I think he done us a turn at times, and he was flung into the deep end. He was playing out of position. He was playing at centre half alongside Leon King and expected to lead the defence in some big games, including the Champions League, and he stood up to it and tried to do as best as he can. I think with attitude and how he applied himself, he was a very good professional, but it's just maybe right club, wrong time. I think he'll go on to have a very decent career, so all the best to James Sands. He absolutely gets my thanks and the very best of luck, even though he's at the same time, I don't think he's what we need to get 56 over the line. So all the best to him. What is very pleasing to see, however, for the club level, is we're starting to make the decisions now instead of the summer. So I spoke yesterday when we were talking about the Kevin Mantilla transfer speculation that Rangers need to start looking at the ins and outs now. It's too big a job to wait to the 1st of June to start making moves, and that's not just to try and get players in, that's to try and get players out. So we've reviewed the James Sands situation, decided next season that he's not part of the plans, so we've made the decision now, and that's what we need to be doing. If there's players that aren't going to be there next season, we need to decide that now and start looking to line up their next move, whether that be your Scott Wright or your Kemar Roos or whoever we decide isn't going to be there next season for whatever reason. Now's the time that we start making the inroads. Another potential inroad, but the other way for a player potentially coming into Ibrox. Greek journalist Georgios Sideridis says that Rangers are looking to make a move to sign Panathinaikos midfielder Dimitrios Kurbelis. I'm very chuffed with myself how I pronounce those two names. And Dimitrios Kurbelis is out of contract at Panathinaikos this summer. And the Greek journalist Sideridis reckons that Rangers are going to be looking at Kurbelis as the replacement for Ryan Jack, should Ryan Jack move on in the summer. So, 29-year-old, he's a Panathinaikos captain. He's got 30 caps for Greece, including 7 last year. I think a very similar player to Ryan Jack. He can be a bit of a battler in the midfield, just going on what I've been reading this morning. The only thing is, he has been plagued with the odd injury or two over the last few years, so it makes sense that Rangers will be looking at him. Of course, that's fucking top of our parameter list when we look at a signing. But I think by the sounds of it, it really depends on what the Ryan Jack situation is and what Jack and Beale decide. I think there's maybe a wee bit more in this interest. I think when local journalists are specific about the Rangers' interest instead of the Daily Record, for example, saying that Rangers and Celtic are interested in a player, it seems to carry a wee bit more weight. So we'll wait and see, and if anything comes out of that over the next few weeks, we'll let you know on the Daily News Update. Mark Haley has been speaking about the aftermath of Sunday and the position of Rangers in general over the last 10 years and post 55. So he was speaking to Grosvenor Sport and he said, "The Rangers supporters have been let down again and they deserve better. The backing the fans have given Rangers since the dark days of 2012 has been nothing short of remarkable. Unprecedented really in world football. They expected more and they deserve more after the title win in 2021. Of course, Rangers have won the Scottish Cup last year and reached a Europa League final, but they have fallen behind Celtic again. They need to retain the cup, otherwise it's another backward step." When asked about the impact the current board are having, he's went on to say a few things there. He said, "Steven Gerrard delivered the most important title of recent times, and a man of his pedigree doesn't rest on his last act. That's why he stayed at the very top for so long. He wasn't satisfied with one achievement, and if you haven't got a board that is compatible to a manager, then that relationship is going to break." And it did. Steven needed to strengthen after 55 to try and get into the Champions League. He wanted to go to the next stage. He wanted the backing and he didn't get it, and that's why he left for Aston Villa. I think the board have done remarkably well over the period, but they are custodians of an institution. When you are in that position, you need to know when you have done your bit and you can't take it any further. You have to know when the time is right to let others come to the fore and make a club what it wants to be and what it should be. So, quite a bit there for Mark Haley on the board, and I think he's hit the nail on the head. I've always thought that way. Key figures at boardroom level or even in managerial position, that it is horses for courses and there is only so much that your skill set can do more often than not. I would hate for guys like Douglas Park and John Bennett and others at boardroom level, if we're being honest, they have had an impact on the club getting back to the Premier League and getting 55 over the line. Absolutely, I think put most of the credit towards Dave King, but these guys have had their impact and they have done their bit. We're very quickly getting to the stage that what they've done afterwards is overshadowing the good that they've done, in my opinion. And again, I know this is probably not one for the Daily News Update. It's an hour-long podcast in itself, the impact of the current board. But in my opinion, I think the complacency we've seen and probably the lack of cohesion with the support, that is starting to be what we see them most most responsible for, other than the good they got to getting 55 over the line. So maybe it is time for the shake-up. I mean, you get that at the manager level as well. If you look at Steven Gerrard, he was absolutely the man to get his 55 and rebuild that winning squad. I don't think Steven Gerrard would have done quite as well winning the Scottish Championship. We needed somebody like Warburton to come in and be able to get players that are a lesser calibre over the line and playing well together. It's horses for courses. We say it for players. It's the exact same when it comes to managers and boardroom level. Different people will have different jobs and different skill sets to those jobs. Back on to Mark Hateley, he was speaking about the team selection on Sunday, and he said, "I was surprised Nico Rashin didn't start for Rangers." Fuck Mark, so were we all. John Lundstrom has not been the same player this season, and he's been carrying an injury. When he's on his game, he carries a presence. He puts his foot in and makes runs forward, but he hasn't done any of that this season. He looks ponderous. Understand Michael Beale's gone with experience, but you could see the difference when the Belgian came on. There was more energy when he and Todd Cantwell were introduced. The Rangers starting 11 had 7 players in it that started the 2019-2020 final against Celtic, and Ryan Jack came on to make it 8. Celtic, meanwhile, only had Cal McGregor from that game in an entire squad. That's the difference. You have to turn things over. Keep things fresh. Fans don't see it that way though. When you're in the final, you need to win it by hook or by crook. So, no too much more that he said about Sunday that we've not already said at one point or another on the pod, and I'm pretty sure we all really feel the same. So, no, some interesting words for Mark Hateley. I think he always speaks quite well, speaks sense. Whether you agree with what he always says or not, I think there's always a good bit of rationale behind his comments. Any further Rangers news? A couple of updates for the other Rangers teams. Rangers B team, their game against Cumbernauld Colts. Sorry. They're playing Cumbernauld Colts at Dumbarton this Saturday, and they've changed the kick-off time from 3 p.m. to 12 noon. The reason being the club want to make it easier for supporters who want to attend both the B team game and the first team game at Ibrox. So if you're planning going to that, or you were thinking about going, it's now at 12 noon at Dumbarton, and then the game will finish back at 2, give you time to make your way towards Ibrox. On the Rangers youth setup, the Rangers under 18s are playing in the Scottish Youth Cup semi-final against Hamilton Accies, and Rangers have announced that this game will be played at Ibrox. So the young Gers have lifted the last 2 trophies in the Youth Cup final, and they're one step away to making a hat-trick at Hampden. They've already beat Stirling Albion, Hibs and Motherwell in the previous rounds, so you can get along and see them in the semi-final against Hamilton Accies at Ibrox. The game will be Friday the 17th of March, and it'll be a 7 p.m. kick-off. Tickets will be priced at £6 for adults and £2 for concessions. Any MyGers concessions and B team season ticket holders, you'll get in free of charge, and you'll get 1 MyGers point for anybody that attends to the match. But it'd be good to see the young players. There's quite a good bit of talent in there. Obviously, we've been speaking about Callum Adamson the last few games. Not a few games, the last few days. He is a key figure in there, albeit he's likely to move on. But obviously, it'd be good to see how they're getting on after the return for the Mohammed VI tournament in Morocco. So Friday night football, you can't beat it. £6 to get in. Friday the 17th of March, 7 bells, folks. Last bit of news is just an update on the Rangers women's team and how they got on last night. They shredded Partick Thistle 5-0 at Broadwood Stadium. Goals from Emma Watson, Jodie McCleary, Kayla McCoy and Jenny Danielson getting 2. So a comfortable Rangers win, as Malky Thompson, he made 7 changes to the team who lost against Celtic 3-0. Malky Thompson said We created some of our own problems tonight in terms of the speed of play. We were slow to try and work the ball, and I thought we could have been a bit more crisp. We spoke about that at half time, and to be fair, in the second half, they came out and reduced the number of touches on the ball. They put a bit more pace on the passing, and it culminated in us creating more chances and getting 5 goals. This team has proven that when they get on top and when they get goals, it puts a calmness about them. Getting the second goal was vitally important because it then gave us the platform to go and build there, and they managed to do that, and we had some great goals. He went on to say, "It's part of my job at the club that we develop players from the youth and give them opportunity. Laura is a good player. She plays well in advance of her years, and we know what she's capable of. It's about trusting her and not putting her into an environment where she can't handle. But I think you can see tonight she definitely can handle that, and the experienced players helped her as well. So on the changes that he made, there was quite a few young players coming in, and Laura Berry being one of them. So that's good to see. Good to see there's a bit of grit about Malky Thompson and making so many changes after getting beat 3-0 to Celtic, and quite a bit of constructive criticism even after winning 5-0. So that's the kind of attitude we need to see to get more trophies for the Rangers women team. They now face an away trip to Spartans on Sunday to hopefully build on this momentum in the league. So that's everything from me today, folks. There was quite a few bits to get through there, so hopefully that sees you through your lunchtime at work or your way to work today. We'll be back tonight 8:30. Mason, Chris and Davey T will be joined by Andy making his pod debut. So for anybody watching the live stream, be kind to the boys tonight, and we'll be previewing the Kilmarnock game. Tomorrow afternoon, the second part of the top 10 players from the journey will drop. Myself and Davey P running through position 6 right to the top spot, and who was the listeners' best player or top player from the time in the lower leagues. That's everything from me. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning for the news update. Thanks for listening, folks. Take care.
Yeah!